You know how they say, do not judge and you will not be judged? That is something I need to remind myself today. I don't know what it is. I really felt like I want to record the video while I'm driving. And I don't, supposed to do that for the safety reasons. But I feel like I can do it half of the way before I go to a real highway. I don't know why it is, but nevertheless, I want to record the thought while I remember this thought, because I'm notorious to forget all of my ideas. I was thinking today about how OnlyFans type of women, different ladies that could probably be called sex worker industry ladies, how they slowly but surely ruin the romance for us. For us, the women who love the way things had been always working out, for the ways of the old romance and everything related. Men used to have to move the mountains, quite literally move the mountains, to be with women that they want. Men used to have all this emotional turmoil, have the courage to come, to talk, to connect with women, take chances, being very courageous, being very taking chances, really learn how to pursue the woman that they want. Because men, to my observation, tend to pursue women that somewhat out of their reach in some way, that excites them in some way. There's somewhat of a fantasy, but yet they could be a real woman. Men and women have a different version of a fairy tale, but nevertheless we all have our images and dreams of sort of ideal relationship, so to speak. But anyway, I just want to say to the ladies who are selling themselves short, even if they think that they are actually making a significant amount of cash, or if men invest their hard-earned money for the bits of their attention, these women, they really killed and consistently killing the mystery of what the sacred relationship between men and women was supposed to be. I feel like the whole industry is working toward it. Even here on YouTube, there's so many channels that bashing women and only talk about women who belong to these industries, and kind of painting all the women in that manner. I feel like the entire world is working to kill the love and connection and trust and romance and everything between. Sometimes the longer way is a better way. Sometimes the challenging way is a better way, because the reward is going to feel like heaven, and the depths of it is going to be so different than the low-hanging fruit. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. I was listening to one of my favorite channels. It used to be called Body Language Guy, but now called Jesus Enrique Rosa's show. He always talks about current trends, and he was talking about a lady who decided to make an experiment and sleep with 100 men in 24 hours, I believe. And that is just such a heartbreaking experience in so many ways. In so many ways that women, young women, would even consider doing something like that, no matter how much it costs. And then, sadly, with also financial rewards. I don't know if the money you make while selling yourself short, I don't know if that money will ever be enough to pay for the therapy to bring back your soul. This is so sad and heartbreaking when ladies decide to look for validation or to prove something to someone. A truly confident woman does not need to do either of those things. When you have faith, when you know who you are, the right person eventually, when it comes to men, eventually not only the right person will recognize you, but you're going to have I don't want to say an army, but a wide variety of men who would be honored to spend time with you. And you don't have to take your clothes off, you don't have to be naked, you don't have to try to get their attention or prove them something. It's this very weird feminist turn when women are trying to show that they're just like men. They can sleep around, they can do certain things, but sadly we are not like men. Or not sadly, I think it's a good thing that we are not like men. And for men as well, as women, we can never take, as women who respect themselves, we can never take a man seriously if all he does is sleeping around. I unsubscribe for all those disgusting channels that degrade both men and women. Men are blaming women for something that they do themselves, applying the double standard, which there is obviously a double standard, but you cannot blame somebody for something that you are doing yourself, for something that you are guilty of yourself. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It really is. It doesn't make any sense. The men that running around the streets, as they say, they don't offer anything. It's two pieces of a same system. One is affecting another. When one part of the system change, another one will change as well. If women would have extremely high standards, men could not get away with paying for something like that, demanding something like that, offering those services. But on the other hand, that is scary to me, and that is shocking to me, how men do, certain men of course, put on a pedestal the sex worker kind of women. Because if they wouldn't, these ladies would not be making hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. There is always a question of supply and demand. So this video is not to bash women or men, but I do believe that women are gatekeepers to the morality of society, to the level, my light guys, to the level of which the current society is on. So women have the power in this case. They just don't realize it, because men will do whatever it takes to be with a woman, unless the woman they really want, unless they're gay, then it's a different ball game. But we're talking about heterosexual relationships and the downfall and the degeneracy of this modern world. Yeah, if you're lucky to meet somebody who is actually having their standards high, despite both men and women, despite of what's going on in the world, you are a very lucky person. Treat them like they are made of gold, because they are. Yeah, I just want to record this message that, I am very lucky to still have experienced the old romance and the beautiful things that men do for us, even not necessarily the man you are in relationship with. I remember being in school, being in high school, being in college, how our guys would always do some special things for us. And sometimes it's an act of service. When I was in high school, we had this duty. We don't have custodians in high school and in school in general. I remember this one guy that I was studying with, he would never let me touch those nasty old rags. He would always clean, he would always do all this dirty job. He just wanted me to be there to inspire, like when it was my turn to do the custodian work. There's so many other examples when I had some situations, where I was in danger and men would risk their life. Men that I don't even know, they would risk their life to help me. I was living in a big city, was a bit of a social butterfly, which is no longer the truth. I'm right now going to a social event and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I could stay home, but I cannot lose all of my friends at once, so I have to be there. But in general, and not to mention the men that you are dating or seeing, or the men courting you, they would always put a plan together to see you, to just be in your presence. I am not even talking about anything intimate or anything sexual. I'm just telling about, I feel sorry for the women that think that they are making a bank when they are really hurting themselves mentally, physically, spiritually with doing these services, and they most likely will never experience the true service, the true pleasure of being with a man that dedicates himself to you, that prioritizes you, that goes and work every single day to make your life more comfortable. And the men that will in fact put their life online for you, put their life on the line for you. So when whoever invented the Pornhub, the OnlyFans and all these sites, that was meant to destroy men, their masculinity, their determination, because we are all human and we are all weak to take the easiest path. Of course, thank God, many men do not fall into this category and they're looking for true satisfaction in life, but a lot of men unfortunately had become victims. We talk about the women that we see. It is shocking to me that a girl, a beautiful girl, would put herself in such a painful situation in every way, would sacrifice her body, mind and soul for the experiment. But we also need to remember that society rots from every corner, from both sides, and that men decide to go an easy route and consume some things that were meant to destroy them. This is so very sad. This is so very sad to realize it, but despite of what's going on in society, I believe that we can make our own microclimate and make things the way we want to make them in our own life. So I would love to hear your thoughts about